Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In the last video, we talked about what is Unity Catalog. Okay. Then we also talked about the architecture of Unity Catalog enabled workspace. Then we talked about the capabilities of Unity Catalog. And then we discussed about the difference between Hive Metastore and Unity Catalog enabled Metastore. And this is an important interview question. So make sure you are go through this content. It will help you. Now, in this video, we will talk about Unity Catalog, how we can set up the Unity Catalog in the Databricks workspace. I will go through each and every step and I'll try to make sure that I will be talking about all the resources which are required as well as all the permissions. So first of all, I'll talk about the resources. Okay. And then we'll talk about the roles and the permissions which will be needed in order to configure the Unity catalog in Databricks workspace. Okay. So the first thing is we need as a resource, right? We need basically three things. Okay. So the first thing is the Databricks itself. And when you create this Databricks workspace, make sure it is premium tier enabled. Okay. Okay. If you try to go with the general one, right, you will not be able to use Unity catalog. Okay, you cannot enable Unity catalog in a Databricks subscription or Databricks workspace, which is not premium tier. Okay. The second thing is you need a storage account. Now make sure you are using ADLS Gen 2. Okay. And it's a good practice that if they both are in the same region. Then apart from this, you need a connector as well. You can use Databricks connector, right? Which we generally call uh, what was the name? I completely forgot. Yeah, access connector for Databricks. Okay, so you can use access connector for Databricks, right? So these are the resources which you need in order to set up Unity catalogs in Databricks workspace. Now, apart from the resources, right, we need to understand what all permissions we will be needing, right? So the first thing is we need is basically account permission, right? What is account permission? That is called account admin role. So in the Databricks workspace, you should be having account admin role. Okay. Now, why we need it? I will talk about it. Basically, you need to access one URL by which you can enable the Metastore, right? Where exactly you can create the Metastore. That's where you need this account admin role. If you don't have this role, you cannot even open that URL. Okay. So let's suppose even if you don't have it, okay. So if you don't have it, then you can ask someone which has global administrator role. So if anyone in your team is having this role, right, they can simply assign you this role in the Databricks workspace so that you can access the account portal. What is account portal? We'll talk about it. I will show you. Okay. Now the second thing is you need a permission basically, or you can grant access, right? Using basically you need to assign a role, right? Storage blob data contributor. Storage blob data contributor. You need to assign this role to the access connector, right? In storage account. Once it is done, you will be able to access the storage account using Databricks. So these are the permissions and the role you will be required. These are the resources you will be needed in order to set up the Unity catalog. So enough of the theory. Now let's go to the Databricks workspace itself. Okay, and let's go through all these things. So these are the three resources which I talked about. One is Databricks workspace itself, right? The second thing is the connector, and the third thing is the storage account. So as I said, the Databricks workspace should be of premium tier, right? And if I go to the storage account, let me check the access control, check my access. Okay, let me see, manage identity, access database connector, this one. So if you see, I already gave the storage block data contributor role to the connector. Okay, so it is already there. So I don't have to assign it. If you don't have it, you can add it using manage identity. You can select the access connector and the name of access connector which you have created. Once it is done, once you give those permissions, you can switch over to Databricks Workspace. Now let me launch Databricks Workspace and I will show you why you need that admin account role. Okay. So once you land to the Databricks Workspace, click on the name and click on Manage Account. If you don't have that account role, right, basically, you will not be able to navigate to this particular URL. It means you cannot even create Unity catalog. To create Unity catalog, you need a Metastore, basically. So the catalog is there. It's just that to use it, you need access of this particular URL. And once you are navigated to this URL, you can actually create the Metastores. Okay. Now, if you talk about these menu items, let's talk about the menu items first. Okay. Then we will create the Metastore as well. So the first thing is the workspaces, like what all workspaces I have for the Databricks. So if you see, I have two Databricks workspaces. One is Databricks Unity Catalog, the one which we are using. And I have one more which I used previously. Okay. So basically these are the two workspaces I have. If I click on the catalog, you will be able to see all the catalogs present. So currently I have one and which is basically connected to South Africa region. Actually, this Metastore is connected to the previous Databricks workspace. So don't worry, we will be creating our own meta store, okay, in the Unity catalog. After this, we have user management where you can control user accesses, okay, and then cloud resources to basically provide some security in order to connect to the resources. And then we have setting where you can customize your normal settings of this particular uh, workspace. Okay, so let's go to the catalog one and we'll create a Metastore now. Click on create Metastore. Okay, and once you have this widget, right, you just what you have to just do is you have to just follow it. Okay, you can give name to your Metastore. Let's say I will say YT Metastore in Databricks for Unity catalog. Okay, and make sure you are using the same reason. Okay, let me check the reason. I completely forgot basically. UK South, I'll use the same. If you want, you can use another as well, but I generally prefer or this is recommended to use the same reason. Okay. Now for ADLS Gen 2 path, if you see, they already provided one syntax, right? How exactly we have to do it. We should have a container name at the rate storage account name dot dfs, right? So I will write it here just for the namesake. Okay. We need a container name. Okay. At the rate storage, and then we need dfs dot core dot windows dot net. And don't forget to add this slash. Otherwise, it will give you some errors. I'll show you. Okay. Let me just copy it here. And now what we will do, we will create a container inside the storage account. If you go inside it, we don't have anything. So let me create a container. I'll write it as, let's say, our source data. Mm, okay. We don't need anything here. Let's just create it. Once it is done, I know the name of my container. I can simply replace it. Okay. And then I need the name of storage account. I'll put it here. And that's it. So if you see container name at the rate storage account name at the rate dfs.co.windows. Okay. .net. See, if I don't keep this slash, it will give error. Once you have it, everything is done. Okay. Now, if you see here, optional location for storing managed table data across all the catalog in the Metastore. So make sure, so just remember it, right? If you are accessing anything via Unity catalog, these all tables will be your managed tables. So don't get confused if somebody asks you what is managed table in terms of Unity catalog. Now the last thing you need is access connector ID. Okay. To get it, you can go to access connector one, resource group, basically the resource. Okay. And what you need is, if you see here, you need this subscription one, the path, copy it and paste it. Advanced option, actually you can ignore it and let's just create it. So currently I'm creating a Metastore. But if you see, the next step is to assign this Metastore to a workspace. So what does it mean? It means the Metastore is there, but it is not assigned to any of the workspace. To assign it, what you can do, you can click on this. Let's say I wanted to assign it to this particular database workspace. I can select it and I click on assign. And if you see enable Unity catalog, it's asking all those questions. You can go through it and click on enabled. Congratulations. So now the Metastore is there. The Unity catalog is enabled. I don't need any example notebooks. So I'll close it. So everything is done now. Now my Databricks workspace is enabled with Unity catalog and has a Metastore in it. So I hope this video will be helpful for you guys. In the next video, we will see how we can create the tables, schemas, how we can access it using Python and the SQL syntax. And we will also take a look how we can create external locations and tables inside it. So thanks for watching this video.